All right, let's go. We're back. You listening to What the Fuego here with Fuego Beats and who? Prophet.
Prophet
is back.
in the building. I'm back.
He's back.
What's going on, everybody?
And we have Mr. John Griffith on the line. How you doing, John?
I'm doing real good. I just got off work. I'm happy.
and we all should be happy right now for that alone. So what time is it? You're on California?
Yeah, it's 5:30.
Oh, great. So that's actually good. So you probably beat traffic like that too, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's good. And if anybody is wondering, well, John Griffith, they should know because we share everything you have going on, so they should know who you are.
Yes, sir.
At least our fans. So, but just in case you didn't know, Prophet, go into it.
Well, pretty much I was on YouTube one day and I seen this video of, a guy, I guess there were two kids. They were dancing to Travis Porter. And I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. So I pressed the play button and of course they're dancing. And then John, I guess the guy says, come on, John, get in the video. So John gets out in the video and he starts doing his thing. And it's like,
that hairy white guy comes in the scene. You're like, what happened?
Exactly. That's the question. You're
what
like,
happened?
What is this? What's going on?
Yeah. And so as the video's going, he's doing his thing. I'm like, what? I wasn't expecting this. And he just murdered it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sitting here like, there has to be more videos like this. Please let there be more videos like this.
And let me tell you, I was in my office, okay, and at the time I was working with I was working with suits. I had to run out, and I was like, whoa, like that, and I was like, y'all got to look at this, and they thought like it was an emergency, so they were like, what? So I said, check this out, and they were like, no, that didn't happen. I
love how shocked people were when they saw that. I didn't know they were going to be that shocked.
What was some of the reactions? What were some of the reactions you got from the video at first?
Well, my reaction when I first saw the video is I'm about to delete this. Like we were just cleaning up the kitchen. We were at one of our facilities, and we were just cleaning up the kitchen. They had the music going on. They were real motivated, and I liked that because they were getting it done fast, and I was trying to get to work. We had to get to work in like 10 minutes.
Oh.
And so they had music going on. I heard Travis Porter, and I was like, man, I really like that beat.
Right.
So I jumped in there real quick, shocked them, and we had to record it. And so we were out in the field working, and I was like, I want you to see what that video looks like. And so they gathered around me. We want to see it again. They played it, and I was like, oh, we're deleting that. And they're like, why? And I was like, no one needs to see a fat cowboy dancing. And so I was like, that's getting deleted. And they're like, no. Put it on YouTube. Just for 2 weeks, let our moms see it. And because they're not going to believe us. And so I said, okay. And, I left it on there, and you know what happened next. Like, I did not expect that to happen.
Nuts.
So, yeah, it's been crazy.
So off that, have you got a lot of people, like, hey, jump like we did, like jump on our show or, interviewing you on blogs and all that and just commenting and just blowing you up?
Yeah, it's been blown up. It's funny because I told Antoine and Leonard, the two guys that are dancing with me, I told them, I said, hey, we got 15 minutes of fame. We got 2 weeks. So speak it. What you got, speak it, because they're going to have cameras for 2 weeks. So speak it. And, that was almost 2 years ago. It's been, 2 years since I uploaded it. But it's been like over a year since it's been viral. And so sometimes people say, is your 15 minutes of fame up yet?
I know, right?
And it's been going on because we have, there's more behind the video. And, there's a lot of things happening with core programs and other stuff we're doing. Yeah. And so Leonard and Antoine have been making the most of it. Antoine and I have done several videos with each other since, just, dancing and talking about things that are important to us. And then Leonard has been, he's been modeling, he's been doing all kinds of stuff because of the video. So it's been real exciting for us.
That's nice. That's really good.
So going along with that, with the dancing and everything like that, before all of this, you were heavy into hip hop. So what exactly brought about the love for, the culture?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll make a real long story short. I grew up in the Bay Area of California, which is very multiracial, multicultural.
Yeah.
Right.
And my father was a very, very Christian man, very, very religious. And so he put the thing on my sister and I when we moved into this neighborhood, you know, that we weren't familiar with. We moved to this new neighborhood, and he said, you can hang around friends if they go to church. And so, you know, I'm in fifth, sixth grade at the time, and we had come from someplace that was also multicultural, but in this neighborhood, the only people who went to church were black people. And so pretty soon, pretty soon it got to be where all my friends were black, and I got into hip hop. And my dad didn't let me listen to rock music anyway, so that was
oh wow,
yeah. He thought that was like devil stuff and everything.
I was about to say.
So it's like immediately I'm listening, you know, sixth grade on, I'm listening to hip hop when it was being born. You know, when hip hop was really coming onto the scene. You know, Sugar Hill Gang days. You know, even Blondie, who I think is one of the first rappers, was the first little songs we had. And then so, you know, then watched it, you know, progress through the Juice Crew and Boogie Down Productions and Run DMC, and, you know, just the whole thing. And I was there for it. And I also was there for the breakdancing. So, like, I was white boy fresh, of course. And so I was the only white guy in the breakdance crew, so that had to be my name. And, you know, I got into dancing and hip hop, and I loved it. It resonated with me. So did my big sister. And so we just connected to that. And it wasn't until I was 18 that I knew that rock music really existed. You know, I was totally inundated into hip hop, you know, and not just East Coast hip hop, but early West Coast, you know, when Too Short was selling cassette tapes out of his trunk, you know, and Ice was first coming on the scene. And so I got imprinted into hip hop and into breakdancing, and it's just been with me ever since, and I've loved it, enjoyed it ever since.
Nice, man. That's wild, man, right there. And I mean to go that far back, like you said, the birth, you know what I mean, of hip hop. I mean, that's crazy right there, and you stuck with it. Even now, I'm pretty sure now I'll ask the question of, have you seen all the element, how it evolved and went to gangster, went to about streets, and got a little violent, obviously, and our when we grew up. But what about now? What are you seeing in hip hop now that I guess as a whole?
Well, you know, I've changed a lot over the years, and so the type of hip hop that I've been looking for has changed. And so now I'm doing a lot of work with youth, and I'm doing a lot of like community advocacy and environmental activism. Yeah. And so now I'm getting real turned on by the hip hop that reflects some of those values. And so I'm listening to DJ KVM, KVM, M stands for motivation, and Ashel Seasons, and listening to more of that kind of like what I would call underground hip hop. Yeah. But it's hard to even, like, I work with young people and they talk about underground music, and I was like, you don't even know about underground music because everything gets put on the internet. Exactly. I remember when you got a Too Short cassette. Okay, so you had the song "Invasion of the Flat Booty Bitches" on a cassette, and you would trade with your cousin, you know, on the East Coast for what they had. That was underground. Like, it wasn't coming on the radio. Yeah. And when it did come on the radio, it wasn't coming on till midnight. MTV wasn't playing rap videos when rap first came out. They waited till midnight, and then you could watch like the group Whistle that had the little bugging. I don't know if you remember that song. It was back probably like 85, 86. That was underground. That's when hip hop was truly, truly underground. Like, you had to really look for it, and you had to have people that could trade you cassette tapes. Well, yeah. So I'm kind of still looking for underground hip hop, you know, that's new, that's cutting edge. And so a lot of places I'm finding it now are Facebook. Like, a lot of, since the video went viral, I have a lot of rappers that are doing their own thing that have come up. And so I've gotten a lot of my music from there. And recently I've been listening to, what's his name? Warren Diesel. So Warren Diesel, I've been listening to a lot of his stuff, and just a lot of SoundCloud rap, I guess you could call it. Yeah, so, yeah. Just kind of really reaching for the new, upcoming, inspiring, different perspective kind of rap. Kind of staying away from the mainstream, although, you know, every once in a while I have to dip and listen to some Travis Porter or whatever, because that's what my youth are listening to, but...
Yeah. Well, you know, along with that, like, a lot of the mainstream artists you see or everybody knows about are kind of dipping back into the underground, you know, world, because it's, I guess you could say is more profitable, if you will, or they have a little bit more freedom and stuff like that. So it's good for everybody to, you know, dabble into the, you know, independent underground scene. You know, so
yeah. You want to hear something that's real. You know, that's resonating with someone who's rapping. You know, a lot of the recipe rap I think that we got caught up into, and probably because of the producers or whatever, but it just didn't seem real. It didn't seem raw, and I think that we're starting to get that from really independent artists again.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it is there was the business of it, and now a lot of the business is noticing that. Well, now people want to go back and want that, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna try to get into that, put that on the forefront. Now it's all. I hate to say it. It's good. I like the underground, of course, always, but it's all in politics, as they say. You know what I mean? And I hate it, the politic aspect of it. But like I always said, the hip hop I listen to now is crazy because I actually find nice hip hop coming out of like England and Russia and stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? And to be honest with you, I don't know what they're saying in Russia. I don't know what they could be saying. I hate everything and whatever.
But it sounds good, nice.
Right? The flow is no. But some of it is like one guy. He's from Germany, originally from Italy, Famo, and he speaks English and everything, and is real good. And I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be like, okay, they're trying to mirror something. You know, but it's totally different, and it's like exactly what we're talking about, and it's weird. It's crazy how it's coming back, and it always happens. History repeats itself. You know how that goes. So I'm loving that.
It's weird to hear it come back from other countries, like where you're saying. I heard some rap from Indonesia recently. Some guy posted his rap song from Indonesia.
I know you're talking about. Yep.
And I was like, whoa, it's coming back to us from Indonesia, and I can remember my father saying, like, when I was listening to some really old, like back in the 80s listening to rap, he's like, oh, that'll be around for a year or two and then it will get old. Yeah. And I'm trying really hard not to throw that back in his face. I'm like, that was like 27 years ago. It ain't old.
Now at the time, did you actually think that with your dad, like you actually thought it might be around for like maybe a year or two, or did you just see this bigger picture of, you know, it becoming the force that has become today?
I loved hip hop so much and immediately thought that like this was going to at least be with me forever. Like I felt that way. Like I was so moved, especially Run DMC when Run DMC came out. Like I loved all the rap leading up to Run DMC. Curtis Blow, loved his stories. But when Run DMC came out, it was so invigorating. I was like, I'm going to be dancing to this until the day I die. And so I thought hip hop was going to have. Also, it offered a unique voice, a voice that at that time, you put yourself back in 80s shoes. Our country was still, minority voices were totally underrepresented. And so you weren't hearing a lot from a huge segment of the United States. And so hip hop was the voice of that. Hip hop was the voice of youth from these areas that weren't getting any like airtime. And so it was unique and it was strong and it was powerful, and I just knew it was going to be around. I didn't buy into my dad's trip at all.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand where you're coming from with that. What we're gonna do? We're gonna go to a quick break, and we're gonna keep John on. So you're listening to What the Fuego
on WFBS 981 Fuego Beats Radio. We'll be back.
Yo, it's Whitney Payton, and you're tuned in to Fuego Beats Radio.
Again, we're back. So. John, so we talked about hip hop. We're seeing that, I mean, your knowledge is crazy and vast with hip hop. Now, you just told us offline that you got a novel.
Yeah, that's right.
So let everybody know what that's about and everything.
So I wrote a novel. It's called Totem Magic Going Mad. Totem as in totem pole, TOTM Magic Going Mad. And the reason why I wrote that kind of ties back into our earlier discussion is that after I left my neighborhood when I was 18, I joined the California Conservation Corps. It's a Corps program for youth. And I joined it, and they sent me way out in the woods, to live. I went and moved to this way out in the woods and started really getting into nature and conservation. I always had an interest, but I just never had a lot of access because I lived in the city. So now that I had access, I got really into it. I fell in love. It healed me because I had some major issues when I was a teenager. And so I got more involved in like helping. I was really into anti-apartheid movement at the time. I was really into Save the Redwoods at the time. And I got more and more into the environmental movement, conservation movement. And what I found was that there was a lack of diversity. So it didn't look like the neighborhood that I had just came out of. It was all white, usually older, white and gray. And I started thinking, how are we going to save the earth if all these white people are about to die of old age? It looks like this movement has an expiration date. And so I thought, I need to mitigate that. And so I started doing things to mitigate it. And, after I went to college and I was a seasonal firefighter and all these other jobs for a while. And I actually got a job as a supervisor in that Corps program in the California Conservation Corps. That's the uniform I'm dancing in and the Corps members I'm dancing with in the video.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to keep working on diversifying the conservation movement, because when I show up someplace with my crew looks like America. And when I show up with my crew, like at a forest, or national park or whatever, we end up being the only ones that look like America. And I wanted to mitigate that. I wanted to mitigate who was, involved in the conservation movement. And so I wrote that book, Totem Magic Going Mad, with a diverse cast of characters, based on people like from my neighborhood, where they're magical protectors of endangered species. So it's a multiracial, multicultural novel with cast of characters that looks like my neighborhood, and they're like witches and warlocks that have been born to protect a particular type of endangered species. And the main character, he's bullied a lot. He's bullied by non-magical kids and magical people, and so it's kind of about him overcoming this bullying while coming into his magical powers too. And once I got the book published, I went ahead and I donate all the proceeds from the book. So I'm donating them to groups like Outdoor Afro, whose slogans were Black people in nature meet, to groups like Center for Diversity in the Environment, and to wildlife care centers. So I donate all the proceeds to my book. It's a totally nonprofit book.
Now, as far as the organization you work for, is this actually state funded, or are these funds actually coming from donations?
It's a combination. We have so many different funding sources. We used to be totally state funded, which is why we still call ourselves California Conservation Corps, but we're only partially state funded now. Now we mostly work for our money, so we are we're like a contract crew, and we also get grants and donations to our foundation. So we have multiple funding sources.
Okay.
It's also a good thing. It's also a good thing because you were telling me how, you get these kids that are underprivileged or off the street that are getting in trouble and everything, and you bring them into the program. And one of the things you were talking about was that they can come in there and they can finish school, get a GED, and if they want to stay on, they can also get certified in the firefighting corps. Is that correct?
That is correct. And we actually have high schools at our campuses, our residential campuses, and so they can get a high school diploma. And when they come to the program, they're getting paid. And then they're also getting up to $15,000 in scholarships in 2 years. Wow. So it's a really good head start. It's a wonderful program. We're very lucky to have it. There's a bunch of core programs all over the country, and if your listeners are interested, they can go to the Core Network. And the Core Network, it's spelled CORPS Network. Cool. Okay. And you go to corenetwork.org, and you can find a core program near you, and many of them have scholarship opportunities for young folks. There's core programs for old folks too. There's senior core. So
oh wow.
So pretty much any age can get in, but what we're looking at in the California Conservation Corps is 18 to 25-year-olds, and it's really diverse in every single way. Like I have someone on my crew right now that already has a bachelor's degree, and then I have people who are trying to get their diploma. So it's real diverse in every single way.
And you know what? I love that. It's funny that you're saying that, is because we're actually doing an event in October in my area, and the person that wanted us to kind of help push the event and everything, they wanted to show kind of like a diversity like that, because they deal with a lot of not inner city, is more like low income suburban youth and stuff, and they basically wanted to show that you can look like, and like for myself, I have dreads, I wear hoodies, I wear the Timbs and everything like that. You can look like this, and you could be I call it a block boy, but you don't have to have a block boy mentality. You don't have to stay there, but you can do this and be successful. You can own your own business like we do. You can get your degree like all of us, stuff like that. But she wanted to show like almost like a diversity even within that, to show like almost what's it called? Evolution. So you have somebody that is trying to get, the right idea, somebody that that's in the process of doing the right thing, and somebody that actually completed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of show that to the up and coming. So I mean, that's really good. I like what you guys are doing out there for sure.
That organizational diversity and just diversity in general is really important because I think about it too, because everything's for Rangers. We're in a core program. We have this uniform, and we all look like Rangers. And
I told you, Prophet. Oh, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
There was this thing going on where it was like,
I called you the dance.
We're trying to before we were trying to coordinate this whole thing. He was like, "Oh, so did you get a chance to talk to the Ranger guy?" I'm like, "He's not a Ranger. Stop saying that."
And I said like right now they just text me, right? Picasso just text me, "Are you talking about the dancing Ranger?" And I'm like, "That's who I'm talking about." Yes.
And the real dancing Ranger got fired, and everybody keeps sending me emails. Sorry, you lost your job. I'm like, that's not me. I'm not
you know what? At first, I thought it was you. I was like, oh shit, what happened? What's going on?
I'm having to start that I'm still employed. I work for a youth program. We like encourage dancing, so. But every one of my core members looks like a Ranger. So when little kids see us, they say there's a Ranger, and it's really interesting because we look like everybody. And so it's funny to see all the little kids get to have, a role model, because kids do that. You look to see if there's someone like you someplace.
Yeah.
And so, like, everywhere we go, we're creating pathways for little kids because they're looking at us and they're going, I could be a Ranger too. It doesn't matter, if I don't look like this old white guy, I can be a Ranger too because I'm a Ranger. And so it's super important to show you diversity and, just to bring up the next generation, let them know that this is an option for them.
Yeah. Exactly, and like you said, it's important. It was important for me, and I know all of us growing up, so I know it just continues. I see that with the youth that I deal with, and when they have that, that person that they could look forward, even if they have both parents in the house, they just want to see. Nobody. I hate to say this, but nobody wants to listen to their parents. I didn't want to listen to them, but you, I would listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And funny thing is, I would listen to you. You'll say the same thing, and then I'll go home and not tell my parents that you said the same thing. But in your mind, you're like, okay, my parents aren't stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actually know what they're talking about because he's saying it. It's got to be true. You know what I mean?
I call it the big homie influence.
Yeah.
And I tell that to core members, like, you guys are all big homies. Whenever we're around kids, I'm like, you're big homies, so they're going to emulate what they see you doing.
They are.
So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to act like a fool? Do you want them to have integrity and stand up straight and like do good work and help the community? Like this is your chance to shape the next generation because you got big homie influence.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
So do you guys ever come out, to the East Coast at all doing anything, or are you thinking about it?
Katrina's the farthest to the East Coast we ever got. We stay pretty much in the state. There's core programs out there.
Okay.
But mine usually stays in the state. We during the summer we respond to a lot of emergencies. In fact, my crew just got a fire emergency.
How has that been? Because I know it's been crazy out in the state of California with wildfires and everything like that. How is that going? We weren't even fighting the fire. We were doing logistical support. So we were like in the camp helping everybody out, getting things together and stuff. And even that's stressful because there's smoke everywhere and there's people, rushing around. And, our fire camps, California's been doing this so long and we got a really good organization thing going on. But a lot of my core members aren't used to working 16 hours a day for 14 days straight. And so, them being around each other all the time and not being able to get away, it's stressful for some people. I lost 2 guys. I went there with 14 and came back with 12. So,
wow.
It's pretty stressful. There's just, tons of money going into it. There's tons of personnel going into it. There's fires and smoke everywhere you look. It looks like a war zone when you're out there, and it feels like it. It feels like you're at a war camp. So,
wow.
Planes and helicopters everywhere, and troops armed with axes and chainsaws. So, it's pretty intense.
16 hours a day for 14 days. That is hectic. You guys must be spent coming back.
So spent. Yeah, just like, especially me, I'm 43 years old. And that's what I tell them. I was like, I'm 43 years old. If I got a smile on my face right now, you better show some teeth.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel you, man.
I'm tired. I was a firefighter for years too, and it's like it doesn't make it any easier. 16 hours a day or 16 hours a day. So it's rough, but this is the kind of stuff that our program provides. Like the youth come in. A lot of times, the kind of youth that we're getting now are youth who spent their childhoods on a couch indoors. And so, playing video games and watching TV, like they didn't play outside like I did. We played outside. We were breakdancing outside. We were like climbing the trees of the park. We were outside playing basketball. And this generation, there's a few of those, but by and large, they were sitting on a couch playing video games, and so like, I'm like watching them get challenged for the first time in their life, physically, doing the work we do. We're hiking up mountains and stuff like that, and
oh wow,
we're working in creeks and we're building trails, and it's the first time they've ever done anything like that and got outdoors. And it's really, really magical to watch the transformation, and I was a city kid too, so I remember how it felt. And they get out there, and the first thing they do is they follow me around really close because they're afraid like a snake or a mountain lion's going to get them. I usually tell them, "What you scared of? A pterodactyl werewolf monkey? Like, get off my, get off."
And I would be right with them because I don't mess with nature. I'll go, but I'm not messing with it. If I see a snake, man, it's over.
Yeah, nature is scary at some points.
It takes like a week. It takes like a week, and then pretty soon I tell them, I said, "You know what? I feel safer walking through these. I'd feel safer walking butt naked, covered in honey, through these woods for 40 miles than walking, 10 blocks of the neighborhood next to mine. Like it's safe up here. Just as long as you don't get lost, you're gonna be all right."
Mountain lion. He just said mountain lions. Like
He said a mountain lion pterodactyl monkey.
I know. I seen one yesterday. Like, see, like
I have a picture. Stuff like that. But it's crazy.
Yo, it's nuts, man. But so is there anything coming up as far as events that you guys got? Because we do have a lot of listeners from over in the Cali area, mainly in the Bay Area and then San Diego. So
I would encourage your hip hop connoisseurs to check out Ashel Seasons, and he raps. He's a wonderful person. He has a company called SOS Juice, and so he's trying to bring organic, fresh, locally produced juices and fruits and vegetables into inner cities like Oakland, where he's from. And he also raps, and he raps with like Sick Man from Dead Prez and stuff like that. They have a wonderful video called Food Fight, and I'm just really encouraged by him and what he's doing with hip hop. He's really like, just kind of taking it back to its core, but putting this modern flavor on it to like be really helpful. And then DJ K-Vam as well. I invite your listeners to check him out. He's got plenty of videos on it. He's OG, and when he says he's OG, it stands for Organic Gardener. But he wasn't an organic gardener that's been rapping. He was a rapper that like became health conscious and community conscious, and he's part of like buying up abandoned plots in downtown Denver and then turning them into organic community gardens for people. So as far as hip hop goes, I invite your listeners to check that out. And what we got going on is, I have my YouTube channel. It's the same title as my book. It's Totem Magic Going Mad. And what I'm showing on that is I'm showing youth who get engaged in their community and in wildlife conservation and the environment, and lots of dance. We got lots of dance videos. After the one went viral, now everybody's like, well, I want to dance too. And I'm like, well, we got to wait for the right moment. So we made one on the fire that we just went on. We got quarantined on that fire because one of us came down with chicken pox. We were stuck at our tents for 6 hours. And so we went ahead and danced to the rapper I was telling you about, Warren Diesel, had a song we really liked. We danced to his song. So I invite your listeners to also check out my YouTube channel.
All right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, I got mesmerized by your video. The Totem Magic dancing to the bird machine.
Now I got an idea for you, because I know you've seen that everybody's doing the ALS challenge. The ice bucket water challenge. You know what you should do? You should do like some pop locking thing where they're like, you're doing the and all that stuff. And then you should have it, like pop locking, and then all of a sudden they just pour a bucket of ice water on you. I guarantee you that would go viral. That would go seriously.
Probably would, huh? And maybe raise some attention to a charity. I did a nature rap battle challenge where I did a short rap about an animal I like, and someone did a beat, and I said, if you got to do dance moves, you got to make a short rap about an animal or outdoor experience, and you got to, like, either someone's got to beatbox or provide the beat. And, I didn't get one single response from that. And then I did
okay.
No one responded to that. The Nature Rap Battle. It's on my YouTube channel. Not one person. And I know it's not because my rap skills intimidated them. So, or maybe but then also I did a BioBlitz dance. We did that for National Geographic. National Geographic wanted us to come do the BioBlitz. They wanted us to come speak at their annual BioBlitz event, which is a huge event. And so we accepted, and me and some core members went down there and we spoke, but we created a dance for the event. And that dance has really spread. And so we've gotten 20 dance video responses, maybe more than that. We got one from Africa. We got one from Romania. We got other core crews. We got dads with their daughters doing it. We got grandmas up here doing it. And it's called the BioBlitz dance. And so, you guys might want to check that out. I'd love to see you two do a BioBlitz dance. It's got one rule. You got to do it outdoors.
Oh.
Right next to the mountain lion werewolf snake.
I'll try. I mean, I can keep a beat, but I don't know if I can move my body in certain ways like you can. Yeah, but I'll give it a try.
I just watched it. I just watched that video and my back hurts just watching it. So I'm gonna tell you, like, that's how I feel right now. Like, what? But that's what's up, man. That's I like all of that right there, man. And like I said, blending. I'll let you guys know, or about what we're doing on our side with any anti-bullying stuff. Because we can blend any materials you guys got. You can send it out. We'll throw you some addresses, and then you can send it out to us, and we'll spread the word of what you got going on. And definitely gonna check out the rappers that you and DJs that you just mentioned, because I definitely want to reach out to them as well. For sure.
I appreciate you guys doing that anti-bullying work. That's awesome. I work with youth that were bullied all their lives, and I see the detrimental effects. And so any help and anybody who's willing to help with that, and my hat's off to you. I'm very grateful for you guys doing that work.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yes, sir.
We're same for you, man. With everything you're doing right now and with the youth and the community out there, we definitely respect and love it. And more of you guys got to step up and do this. You rappers and everything, man. You gotta understand. You gotta help your community. That's where you live. So understand, y'all got to get out there and do some things. But yeah, so John, do you have anybody that you want to give another, like, a special shout out? And if you could drop your contact information to everybody.
I want to shout out to all the core members, like every single core program that are doing service to their community, for their community, and for the environment. I love those people. I love the people who work at wildlife care centers. I love the people like y'all who are working on anti-bullying. I just want to shout out people who are, like, working to make the world a better place, like my homegirl, my close sisters, Akima Price and Rumap, who are also doing things, for their communities and the environment. They inspire me every day. So that's my shout outs. And of course my mom, you always got to shout out your mom. But and my grandma, she got jealous because I forgot to mention her grandma too. But and then, I have dedicated my life. I'm married to wildlife conservation and to making, my community a better place, all communities a better place, and promoting diversity in the conservation movement everywhere,
Yeah.
And so, I'm working on that stuff. If people check out my YouTube channel, Totem Magic Going Mad, they'll see that reflected there. Anybody's welcome to hit me up on Facebook. I keep my Facebook real solution oriented. I'm a solutionary. So I'm always highlighting these wonderful people who have dedicated their lives to making their communities better. And I'm just trying to attract that, and I'm trying to promote that. And so, people are welcome to hit me up on Facebook, welcome to check out my YouTube. And hopefully, I can provide something helpful or some resources or inspirational characters to help them out.
Yeah. No, that sounds great, man. Thank you again for coming on, with us and actually reaching out. And Prophet, good luck on reaching out to John.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, John, for coming on the show. Hopefully we can have you back on.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And, yeah, John, if you hang around for a quick second, I just want to say something to you offline. But you guys, make sure you check John out at his YouTube page. You got the Facebook. Let us know for some reason. If you can't get in touch with him, come through us. But we'll be right back. You're listening to What the Fuego.